Hey guys, welcome back to Dad's Van. Today I'm going to be showing you the 4x4 features on this 2018 Sprinter. This is a 2500 series high roof 144 wheelbase. It comes with the X30 package, which includes the factory installed 4x4 transmission. That includes high gear, in addition a low gear transfer case. It also includes a lift, which gives you additional clearance. So we're going to be taking a look at some of these features more closely. One of the first features you're going to notice on a 4x4 Sprinter is additional ground clearance because the vehicle suspension is lifted. On the front, we've got 4.1 inches of additional clearance. On the back, we've got 3.3. That's going to give us better approach angles when we're four-wheel driving and better ground clearance underneath, with a couple exceptions. Another feature that comes with the Sprinter 4x4 package are driver and passenger handles on the doors. Because of that additional ground clearance, some passengers or drivers may need to use these handles to get in and out of the vehicle. All right, so let's take a look at what's underneath the Sprinter that makes it four-wheel drive. Now, by default, the 2018 Sprinter has rear-wheel drive. So as you see here, the drivetrain goes back to a differential in the rear of the vehicle that turns the rear wheels. When you get the 4x4 package, what we're adding is two things. One, this transfer case. This transfer case is what's going to allow us to switch from two-wheel drive, or rear-wheel drive in this case, to four-wheel drive. And four-wheel drive, we also are adding a front differential that drives the front wheels when we're in four-wheel drive mode. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Sprinter does get a lift, 4.1 inches in the front, 3.3 in the back. We don't gain all the benefits of that lift in the under clearance, primarily because of this transfer case. As you can see here, there is a protection bar in front of that to protect it when you're off-roading. But overall, across the bottom of the vehicle, we're still gaining a lot of ground clearance. There's just not quite as much gained in this area because of the transfer case. So how does the 4x4 system on the Sprinter work? Well, for the 2018 model, the 4x4 system, when it's engaged, is going to supply 33% of the power to the front wheels and 67% of the power to the rear wheels. In addition, because there's not actually a locking differential on these 4x4 Sprinters, if you do lose traction in one of the wheels, because they don't have lockers, that is emulated by using the ABS system to brake any of the wheels that are loose, so that it doesn't continue to spin, and then it drives the other wheel. So how does the 4x4 drivetrain on the Sprinter work? Let me explain that for you. So first of all, when we're in 4x4 mode, the Sprinter is going to be giving 67% of the power to the rear wheels and 33% to the front. If we lose traction in one of those wheels, what the Sprinter does is, a spinning wheel that has no traction, it will use braking to stop that rotation and allow the other wheel to gain traction and drive. Okay, now that I've explained a few things about this 4x4 system, let me show you why I think it's great, and I'll give you a little demonstration. So for Sprinters that are equipped with the four-wheel drive option, they come with this button right here. This is used to engage and disengage four-wheel drive. Okay, to engage the four-wheel drive system, one of the ways we can do that is if the vehicle is running and we're in park, we can just go ahead and push the button here, and you'll see that it will Update on the display here, 4-wheel drive active. And now you see the button is no longer flashing. All right, now if we're currently in drive and we want to activate 4-wheel drive, we cannot just push the 4-wheel drive button. If we do, it's just going to flash at us. We actually have to shift into neutral, which will allow it to engage. And then we can shift into drive or reverse. And you'll see that the message here now says 4-wheel drive active. All right, now if we're in drive and 4-wheel drive is currently active and we want to disengage it, we can push the button. It'll start flashing at us. We shift into neutral, shift into reverse. That will disengage it. To disengage 4-wheel drive, when it's currently engaged and we're in park, we will have to put our foot on the brake, press the button for 4-wheel drive, which will start flashing, and then shift into reverse, and that will disengage 4-wheel drive, and you'll see that the display no longer says 4-wheel drive active. All right, here's a little demonstration of where the 4x4 really comes in handy. What I'm doing here is I'm backing off of some grass onto a gravel driveway that's sloped. Currently 4x4 is not. You can see that the rear-wheel drive cannot pull this vehicle due to the limited traction on the gravel. Now I'm going to put it in 4-wheel drive. Alright, I'm going to give you another demonstration of where the 4x4 will help you out. Here I'm on a driveway that has a pretty steep slope to it. And first I'm going to demonstrate trying to back up that driveway in 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. And then I'll do it again in 4-wheel drive.
Okay, in my Sprinter, I ordered the 4x4 package with the DSR option, downhill speed regulation. That button is going to be shared, so it's labeled DSR, but it's actually for engaging the low gear, which you see here will not engage when the 4x4 is not active. So first we have to activate the 4x4 mode, and then we'll be able to click the DSR button to engage the low gear differential. DSR is a different function which is covered in another video. So here you see now that we're in 4x4, and I click the DSR button, the LED, yellow LED on the display indicates we're now in low gear. And that means we're in the lower gear differential set, which is 40% of the high gear.
Another thing you might read in some of the forums is that the 4x4 system in general, even when it's not engaged, is a little bit louder. I've never driven around much in a two-wheel drive Sprinter that doesn't have the four-wheel drive transfer case, but here I'll just demonstrate to you what the 4x4 sounds like in two-wheel drive mode. I'm not touching the accelerator at all right now. That's just the sound of the transmission in high gear. I'm pretty much headed downhill right now. Now I'm hitting the gas. All right, now I'm going to put it in four-wheel drive so you can compare that. Sound of the four-wheel drive train. There you go. You can kind of tell it has that like front differential driving the front wheels. All right, now I'm going to give you a demonstration of what the transmission sounds like when we have four-wheel drive on and we have the low range gear settings engaged. And here we go. You can hear that it revs much higher. It'll still shift through the gears, but the lower range gear set is going to be 40% less than the on-road normal high range gear set. All right, one last thing I want to point out is four-wheel drive as well as the low gear setting, they remain active even after the vehicle is turned off and back on. So I had them active when I stopped it, and I turn it back on. You'll see that both four-wheel drive and the low gear setting is still active. All right, if you get the 4x4 package on the Sprinter, it will add this 4x4 emblem on the back. As far as the sticker price goes, $7,540 I think is what the additional cost was to get the 4x4 package. So something to think about when considering the factory installed one versus an aftermarket. Alright guys, that concludes this video on the 4x4 system of 2018 Sprinter. This 4x4 system was available from 2018 back through 2015. The newer Sprinters have a slightly different 4x4 system, so I encourage you to read into that if you're considering buying a newer model Sprinter. Overall, I'm really glad I have the 4x4 system. I used to live in the snow in Colorado, and I liked having the additional traction both in the winter as well as off-roading. And now I live in Hawaii, and I'm taking this thing to the beach all the time, and you gotta have four-wheel drive if you're gonna crawl around in the sand. So something to really consider. I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for joining, and have fun out there.